In the last video, we reviewed diagonals of special quadrilateral theorems. We're going to apply those properties to solving problems similar to these and solving for x and maybe finding some missing lengths. So for each of these following quadrilaterals, we first have to determine if the information given is enough to solve for x. And if it is, we're going to solve for x. And if not, we're just going to write not enough info. So if we look here, we have a rectangle. Are these diagonals congruent? The diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. So we're given that BD, which is from here to here, is 8x minus 2, and AC, which is from here to here, is 5x plus 16. So because I know that these two are congruent, I have enough information to solve for x, and all I have to do is set those two expressions equal to each other. To solve for x, I would subtract the 5x from each side. That would give me 3x minus 2 is equal to 16. Then add the 2 over. That would give you 3x is equal to 18. Once you divide by 3, you get an answer of 6 for x. In number 2, we are given a rhombus. We are also given the length of BD as 9x plus 6 and the length of AC as 7x plus 18. So you have to think about, are these diagonals congruent? The diagonals of a rhombus are not congruent. So in order to solve for x, you'd have to set these two equal to each other. Because these are not equal, we do not have enough information to solve for x. Let's take a look at number 3. In number 3, we are again given a rhombus. We already know based on number 2 that these diagonals are not going to be equal. So AC is not congruent to BD. If we look at what's given, we have AM, which is from here to here, is equal to 4x minus 3, and CM from here to here is equal to 5x minus 10. We do have enough information to solve this one because rhombuses have two sets of congruent parts. So that means that this part and this part are congruent, and that BM and DM, these two would also be congruent. So to solve for x, we set 4x minus 3 equal to 5x minus 10. Subtract the 4x from each side, that gives you negative 3 equals x minus 10. Then when you add the 10 to the other side, you get 7 for x. Let's take a look at this isosceles trapezoid. In an isosceles trapezoid, the diagonals are congruent. We're given the length of BD, which is 10x minus 4, and the length of AC, which is 7x plus 21. Because the diagonals are congruent, I can set these two expressions equal to each other. So 10x minus 4 is equal to 7x plus 21. If you subtract the 7x over, that would give you 3x. And then if I were to add that 4 over, that would give me 25. You would divide by 3 on both sides, and most of the time when you divide by 3, you get a repeating decimal. So I'm just going to leave my answer as a fraction of 25 thirds. Now let's take a look at number 5. We have a kite. We're given the length of BM, which is from here to this center, and the length of DM, which is from this vertice to this center. In a kite, we know that these diagonals are not congruent. However, we have one set of congruent parts, which happens to be the two lengths that I'm given. So we do have enough information to solve this problem. We'll set 3x minus 18 equal to x minus 14. Subtract the x from each side. That will give you 2x. And then we're going to add this 18 over here. So that's going to be negative 14 plus 18. That will give us positive 4. And an answer of x is equal to 2. Let's take a look at number 6. Again, we have a kite, and we know that the diagonals are not congruent. If we're given that AM is equal to 4x plus 15 and CM is equal to 9x plus 1, do we have enough information to solve this problem? We do not have enough information to solve for x. In kites, we only have one set of congruent parts, as seen in number 5. So that means that this would be congruent to this. We're given AM, which is the shorter side, and CM, and this one looks a little bit longer. So AM is not congruent to CM. In number 7, we have another isosceles trapezoid, and in isosceles trapezoids, the diagonals are congruent. We're also given that AM is equal to 8x minus 5, and DM is equal to 11x minus 17. Which of these parts are congruent to each other? Isosceles trapezoids have two sets of congruent parts. So that means that BM is congruent to CM and AM is congruent to DM. So because AM and DM are congruent, I can set those two expressions equal to each other and solve for x. I would subtract the 8x from each side. That would leave me with a 3x over here. And then I would add the 17 over. So I have negative 5 plus a positive 17, and that's going to give me 12. When you divide by 3, you get an answer of 4 for x. Next, we have a parallelogram. Are the diagonals in a parallelogram congruent? The diagonals in a parallelogram are not congruent, but we do have two sets of congruent parts. So BM is congruent to DM, and AM is congruent to CM. We're given AM and CM, and those two parts are congruent, so we can solve for x by setting 10x minus 19 equal to 2x plus 21. Subtract the 2x, so it's over on this side on the left. That will leave us with 8x. Then we're going to add the 19 over, and we get 21 plus 19, and that's going to equal 40. When you divide by 8 on each side, you get an answer of 5 for x. In number 9, we have another parallelogram. We already know that the diagonal of AC is not congruent to the diagonal of BD. The information we're given are the expressions and measurements for AC and BD. And since we already know those are not congruent, there is not enough info to solve this problem. Next, we're going to get a little bit more difficult here. We're going to classify the quadrilateral and find the missing lengths. Notice we have x's and y's. What kind of shape is this? This shape is a rhombus. A rhombus does not have congruent diagonals, so AC is not congruent to BD. However, a rhombus does contain two sets of congruent parts. So this means that BM is congruent to DM and AM is congruent to CM. So if I wanted to solve for y, I can set 2y equal to 7y minus 20. We'll have to subtract the 7y this time so I can get all my variables on one side. That's going to give me negative 5y is equal to negative 20. Divide by negative 5 on each side. You get an answer of y is equal to 4. Similarly, to find x, we can set AM equal to CM because those parts are congruent. So AM is 10x minus 9, and we set that equal to 7x minus 3. We're going to subtract the 7x over to the left side. That will give me 3x. Then we're going to add the 9 over to the right side, and that's negative 3 plus 9. That's going to give us 6. Then we're going to divide by 3 on each side, and we get an answer of 2 for x. To find the missing lengths, all you have to do is take your answers and substitute them back into the expressions given to find the length. So if I want to find the length of BM, which is this one, I'm just going to start with that one because I know that y is 4. And of my two choices, this one is less work to do. So if BM is equal to 2y, all you do is substitute your y value in, and you get a length of 8 for BM. And since BM is congruent to DM, you already know that DM is also going to be 8, and there would be no need to plug it back into this expression because those two lines are congruent. To find the lengths of AM and CM, choose one of these expressions to plug your answer into. I'm going to choose CM, which is 7x minus 3. Replace the x with a 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. So CM is 11, and because CM is congruent to AM, I know that AM is 11 also, and there would be no need to plug in x here because you already know that these two segments are congruent.